Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Since you're here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are in the middle of spectacular 31 days of Halloween. The reason I'm going a little fast is because there's something wrong with my equipment that I've been talking about for the last few days. But today we are going to talk about Elisa Lam. Now, many of you know her story through the viral video of the very creepy elevator scene. This blew up all over the place, and poor 21-year-old Elisa Lam from British Columbia would be found dead in a water tower at the Cecil Hotel. So, how did this happen? Many people blame her mental illness, and other people think that she was a victim of something nefarious. It would have been extremely difficult for Elisa Lam to be able to get up onto the top floor where there was no access for hotel staff and be able to lift the water tower lid. Her clothes were found folded very neatly and no phone around her body. She was naked in the water. Elisa had been missing since the 31st of January. That's when she disappeared officially. Her body was not discovered until the 19th of February. And how they found it was quite disturbing. Many people at the Cecil Hotel reported that they were tasting disgusting water. It was coming out black, or the water had very low pressure. Checking the water tower where no one thought Elisa would be because she had an active missing persons case. No one expected to find her body there, but there she was. And residents had been drinking contaminated water with human remains in it. If that isn't disturbing enough, her mental illness and other things chalked this whole thing up to an accident. Was it an accident based off of going off her medication? As a bipolar person, was she capable of opening up a big trunk, getting into a door that she should have no access to, and climbing into the water tower and shutting the door all by herself? It's possible, not likely in my opinion, but there's many conspiracy theories about this. Now, I did write a blog about this. Unfortunately, I lost my blog, but I had tons of evidence that were showing quite different views. One thing is that Elisa Lam's roommates that she supposedly was moved from, they apparently told the police that she was crazy and she needed her own room. That is not true. That never happened. This is not on the police report, and none of the people who were living with Elisa say that that ever happened. They said she left because she wasn't feeling well and she wanted to basically quarantine herself. And the footage of her in the elevator is extremely disturbing because it's been slowed down quite a bit. Her gestures and things seem very unnatural, but if you play it at regular speed, it is very indicative that she's speaking to someone and she's hiding from someone. So we're going to take a few minutes, and I will do a whole video on Elisa Lam later when the theories and all of that stuff, when my equipment is working for me. But what I want to know today, and what many of us want to know, was, did Elisa Lam die on accident? Was it suicide? Or was she being targeted? One of the reasons I want to bring up a target is because there was a large TB, tuberculosis, break out in Los Angeles, which is where the Cecil Hotel is, specifically located on Skid Row. There is a vastly huge homeless issue there, and it's violent, and TB was surrounding or going around like wildfire. They came up with a vaccine. The name of that vaccine was Lam Elisa. It's very odd. Not such a coincidence. So let's see. I want to know if this was her killing herself. So I definitely see distress here. There was a lot of stress that was happening in her life. And very likely, they did find traces of her medication in her body, but it looked like she had not been taking it consistently. There, she was a smart girl. She was a very smart girl. She had a lot of wisdom to her, and she had a little hint of mystery. But she was also very open about her life on social media, but she kept things quiet. There's hidden dangers here. Um, she was in danger, and this was a very real situation. Um, she wasn't what everybody thought she was. She was a smart young woman who was enjoying her travels, and she had the whole world ahead of her, and wasn't planning on this to be the end of her life. Um, this is the wheel of fortune, the world, I'm sorry. And this was unfortunately part of her life path, but she had a lot of life in her. I don't think for a second that she believed going into the Cecil Hotel would be the last thing that she did. She made travel plans beyond the Cecil Hotel, which is part of the reason that they knew she had gone missing. Death was imminent for her. This is a literal death card. She was not going to get out of this situation alive. There was somebody who worked very hard that was upset with Elisa. He he worked very, very hard for whatever he was doing, and he didn't want to be torn away from his project. This troubled him greatly, and it made him angry. Very, very, very angry, because he felt like his money was being messed with. Now, did Elisa have anything to do with this guy? I feel like this was someone that was not a boyfriend, but someone that she cared about. So I think they were friends. I think they were friends, and I just feel like all of this anger came from him, and he felt like he was entitled. He had a lot of wisdom, he had a lot of knowledge, very smart, but so was she. And I feel, again, I keep seeing a leadership position. So this was a person who had a leadership role, whether that be, the somebody at the hotel that had a leadership role, or somebody else that had a leadership role that you would see as an authority. Um, he needed to make sure that she died. It was in the cards. She wasn't going to make out alive. He had to make sure. I feel like she was poisoned. I feel like something was put in her drink. I feel like there was a lot of communication going on. There were a lot of avenues happening because of what was happening with Elisa. She stumbled upon something she shouldn't have. She was a strong girl, so she was going to stand up for everything. Because my equipment's about ready to die, I'm going to say thank you very much for being here. I don't believe that she killed herself. I believe she was murdered. All right, stay tuned.